Michelle?
All right. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. We are so excited to be here today to talk to you about our services. So I'm going to have Michelle put up our PowerPoint, and if at any time it's looking funny, just please let us know.
Technology, oh, the woes. There we go.
There you go. Perfect. All right. So West Michigan Works. Yes, as Amy mentioned, we are all across Michigan. We'll get into where we serve and then how many agencies are across the state and all the programs that we have to offer. So as the first slide shows, we are here to create a diverse and qualified workforce for West Michigan. So there are 16 Michigan Works agencies throughout Michigan. West Michigan Works specifically covers 7 counties, and in a couple slides it'll show you which ones exactly. We are in Montcalm County, but we also cover Ionia County. Michelle and I, we work in both offices. And really, we are just committed to developing a skilled workforce through education, innovation, and collaboration on every level. We love partnerships and collaboration opportunities that has brought forth so much great things for our communities. So this has always been our approach, right? We are solutions driven, we are focused on results. But then throughout the pandemic, we have really had to find ways to be flexible and adapt to meet the needs for those in our communities. And I really think that we rose to the challenge on that. So we have still had a lot of data throughout the last couple of years that's shown how many employers we've helped find positions for, how many wages have come from us putting job seekers with employers, and so much other great information that we'll get into in a minute. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what our strategic plan looks like. These are the areas we identified in our last session, which are really important, I think, across all sectors. So as you can see, those are integrity, diversity and inclusion, collaboration, exceptional customer service, commitment to community. We are very data driven, and continuous improvement. So right here shows our various locations. We are across 7 counties. So Allegan, Berry, Ionia, Kent, Montcalm, Muskegon, and Ottawa. Those are our full service centers where we offer all of our programming. And then we have a satellite location in Rockford that has been closed since the pandemic, but that should be reopening here in the next month. We're excited to bring that service back into the North Kent area. And then there's a few other locations on here like Howard City, Grand Haven, that are kind of just satellite locations as well, where we can meet people if transportation is a barrier to meet with us to begin with. So let's get into the exciting stuff, our programming. So these are the things that if you walk into any one of our service centers, and this is across all Michigan, like Amy said, how most all Michigan Works agencies have the same kind of opportunities, the same programming. We all do things a little bit differently, but you can, it sounds like we're pretty heavy in West Michigan, but you can see or find Michigan Works agencies across the whole state. So when you walk in, you will be greeted by career navigators, and we have several computers right in the employment service area. So these services are available to anybody. You do not have to be enrolled in any kind of a program. And as Amy said, we really see people from all walks of life, especially when COVID hit. There were mass layoffs and so many people in rough positions, and we saw people, from all walks of life. So you can come in to receive some help with internet-based job search. We post jobs on Peer Michigan Talent Connect, which is the state of Michigan website. And then we also, I'm going to skip over free workshops because that's Michelle's expertise. So I'm going to talk about a few of the other ones, and then I'll let her talk about that. Every Friday, there's an email that gets blasted out if you are signed up, where you will receive all the job openings across our 7 counties. It's really based on some of our more high demand industries. And I am actually going to put that part of our website in the chat right now. So that is where you can go to sign up for that weekly job blast, as well as sign up for the workshops. As Amy also mentioned, we are a great labor market information resource. We have data analysts, performance analysts that are constantly reviewing data to make sure that we are helping job seekers find positions or send them to training for jobs that are in high demand, right? We don't want to send someone to training and then they end up, they can't find a position, or we want to make sure that we're meeting the employer needs. Oftentimes they will reach out and say, okay, I want to hire for this position. Can you get me the data, like a wage analysis across West Michigan to find out and make sure my wages are competitive? And then we also are just a huge connection to resources. We work with many community partners and different agencies within all of our counties to be able to point people in the right direction. And then I'll let Michelle talk a little bit about her workshops.
I think that too, I want to add, Abby, is that, the relationship piece, and that when our staff we have staff, the talent solutions specialists who were constantly, building the bridge between which we're going to get into is the business solutions, and then the talent solutions is the human side of it where we interact. And that's a really important bridge, finding out where the disconnect is between the job seeker that we're working with, and then where we can help them by looking at jobs, knowing what's available. That cool bridge that we have, that relationship that we have with employers in our region, in our specific 7 county, but all over, they do the same. And that's where we figure, okay, where do they need, what skills do they need, what can we add to their skill and ability? And specifically, if you see here, the Work Ready series, this is 9 modules that are really designed to hone in on those soft skills. So we can teach individuals to do various things, like, as far as their job goes, but when they come to the table with these skills, these soft skills, this is really where the rubber meets the road. How do you deal with, what are you doing? So time management, punctuality, how do you communicate with your employer, how to say certain things, how to build your team, what your responsibility is in that area. And these are really fun. We do these online, we do them in person. So they're virtual options and in person. They're calendars on our website that is specifically, it says job seeker event. Job seekers can sign up for these and earn a Work Ready certificate. And it's really cool because they take the pre-assessment, kind of find out where they are within these skills. If they get 89% or higher, they automatically get that. If they do 89% or higher on all of them, they get the Work Ready Plus certificate. And it's a really cool thing to have because it does showcase to employers they are working on the soft skills as well, not just the hard skills, the knowledge pieces in their arena. And the good thing is we all know how to communicate, but when we do a deep dive and we're refreshed, maybe we're like, oh, I didn't think about that, or I never thought about that. And so I'm reaching out to a lot of the tech centers in the area we work with, which is now called IOCC or ICCC, which used to be Heartland. I'm in the high schools this month. So it's really fun. It's a great place to kind of build that teamwork, get people involved, and it's enjoyable, and you get a great amount of takeaways, and it is data driven because then they take the post assessment after if they didn't score 89% or higher, and then they earn that certificate. So a great way to connect. I get to spend 2 hours, on occasion 1 to 2 hours with them, and we build the relationships, and we get to show them, of course, we talk about our services, and then our how we build with relations with our community partners, which is an advantage to everyone. So it's a really great piece that we've incorporated, and hopefully we'll start doing this in the businesses as well. So it'll be more of a recognized certificate. I'm going to jump back at Abby with talent solutions.
Yes. And just to put in there, that isn't only for job seekers. I've encouraged some of our staff to go through these workshops. I've sat in on these workshops. They're now offered in person again, but they're also virtual 5 days a week. And I love sitting in Michelle's workshop. She is so engaging. She's very interactive. She gets people to really come out of their shell. And then there are a wide variety of workshops she offers. She also does a resume, cover letter, interviewing, there's a self-esteem, and we recently incorporated a few new ones. One I think that has been a real value is helping individuals job search that have a criminal background. So really meeting people where they are and figuring out, how we can best help the job seekers become comfortable.
And I forgot to mention, we also do job search for the experienced worker, something that we found during the COVID years, right? That people were shifting, and there was a lot of, people coming in with resumes with master's degrees and bachelor's degrees, and how do I get back into the workplace, and where do I go, and if I transfer a career, what do I do? So it's not only for those that are economically challenged, or it's everyone within our communities, all over our communities. And we kind of had to shift. So we really had to figure out some workshops and some new approaches. We've recently gone through really rigorous resume training so that we are making sure that the standards that we're putting out are what the employers are wanting. So that's something that definitely the resume is a big piece, because that's our first introduction to getting a interview or a job offer of any sort. So that has been a big project this year. So everything that we do teach, we get a direct line to from the employers as that information. So yes, we definitely are broad. We broaden our workshops to accommodate where what our communities need.
Yes, thank you for elaborating on that. All right, so this is for job seekers that want to work with a career coach. There are some eligibility requirements for this. It would be if you're unemployed, if you're underemployed, if you're collecting unemployment, any one of those things. You can work with a one-on-one career coach to develop yourself. It's kind of like a mentor, a job coach. We help build a career portfolio with you, which is, getting that resume, that cover letter. If you've taken any assessments to showcase those, if you go through the Work Ready curriculum for the workshops to really show employers I am work ready, and here are some of my qualifications. We also have scholarships for in-demand careers. Amy loves these, so we have something we come out with every year called our Hot Jobs. You can kind of see that. 2022 should be coming out at the end of the month, I believe. So they have these specific to all of Michigan. However, West Michigan Works makes it specific to West Michigan. So the industries that we find are most in high demand are construction and energy, health sciences, IT, manufacturing, and then professional and administrative services. So any one of these, so if you were to look through this box, many of these titles have a little blue-green box next to those. That is showing that those are in high demand enough to be able to earn, we could potentially send them to training and help pay for a large portion of that. Oftentimes, having grants, Pell Grants and different financial aid can really offset that cost. And oftentimes people can go through training not having to pay anything. So that is great. And on this Hot Jobs, it also shows the median wage, the recommended credential, and what it would take to get that training. Additionally, like I said, we begin when you meet with a career coach by breaking down those barriers. What are your struggles right now to be successful with employment? So it really starts with that. We need to make sure we identify the barriers, try to break those down, and then we can look into training and other things of that nature. So, and sometimes people say, well, how am I going to get to training, if I'm struggling to make ends meet? So we have support services for that. Some of the things that we can do are mileage reimbursement that can really help someone when they're traveling back and forth to school or their employment site. Also vehicle repair, registration, car tabs, interview clothing. Say you need to go to a welding class and you don't have any of the tools. If it shows that you need to have those tools to take that training, we can provide those as well. So yeah, a wide variety of opportunities there, and it really helps people throughout their journey until they're finished with schooling. So another thing is we have a lot of apprenticeship opportunities. We work with a lot of employers for on-the-job training. So just really a wide variety of career opportunities when you work with a career coach, as well as in-person and virtual options. So obviously when the pandemic hit, we went fully virtual. Now that we are kind of bringing people back in, you can choose based on your comfort level, whether you come in or not. So we also have an a youth program, excuse me, that is for ages 16 to 24. This is really geared towards out of school youth. So those that have dropped out of high school or those that have graduated, but maybe have some other barriers or have a need. And the same thing as the other program we talked about, same support services, same coaching opportunities, same training opportunities. But oftentimes we know youth come in and they have no work experience. So we have different employers in the area that we can send them to for a specified amount of time to give them some of that work experience and maybe give them an idea of what they want to go into. One big thing too is we do a personality assessment. So, oftentimes people come in, they don't know what they want to do, or they might have a good idea. I always use a nurse as an example. Someone come in, well, my mom was a nurse, my aunt was a nurse, I really want to go into nursing. So we do this personality assessment. It's 60 questions. It's called ONET. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And then at the end of that, based on your personality answers, it will tell you what industry would be best, social worker, different things of that nature. And then also you can choose, do I want to go for it? I don't want to go to any schooling, or I would like to get a certificate, or maybe I'd like to get a bachelor's degree. So you can choose what schooling you want to, go through in order to get that degree. And it has helped people tremendously. I use that nurse example because there was actually someone once that came in and said something like that, and then it showed that she scored really low on social. So if you don't really like working with people, you probably don't want to go into healthcare. And then that really changed her mindset of what she wanted to work towards.
And I want to add too, we have a career exploration workshop that really aligns. So yes, they can go online, they can take the ONET assessment by themselves. However, what happens then is that, where do I go with this information? So then we kind of walk them through that before or during, or, while they're building relationship with their career coach or not. They can just come to the workshop and we talk about those things that Abby is discussing, like, okay, you like the medical industry, but maybe it would be better to try this. So you're working with one-on-one versus, more mass amounts of individuals in that area. So we do go into depth. We kind of work it out. We have more paperwork, but more we kind of guide them through it and guide them through the process. What are you investing in? And is this really something that you really look forward to, a career, not just a job?
Yes, absolutely. We always say we are here to help people find self-sustaining employment. So I talked a little bit about our previous programs. I just wanted to share a few more that we have. So we also have the trade program. This is for people that have lost their job due to it moving overseas. So in order for you to become trade certified, either the employer needs to go through that process, or it just takes 3 employees that have been affected by the layoff to be able to become trade certified. And we kind of call that our Cadillac of programs. There are a wide variety of services that can be offered, right down to relocating to a different state, if that is what will best suit you for your future career. We also have PATH, which is really a great program. It stands for Partnership, Accountability, Training, and Hope. That is for individuals seeking cash assistance. You would apply through your local DHHS office. And if you have dependents in the home, then you are sent to West Michigan Works or a Michigan Works agency for work requirements. So that starts off with meeting with the career coach. You go through an orientation to understand what the program entails. And then they meet weekly to kind of go through assignments, again, breaking down those barriers to help them be successful. And then we have many success stories, people really turning their lives around. And some just have fallen on hard times. Again, all of these layoffs that people faced, and they never thought they'd be put in these positions, but then, they came to us and we were able to help them through those hard times. And then we also have RECE. So individuals who have been on unemployment for a certain amount of time can be sent to us to kind of go through an overview of services, kind of like we're doing now, to hopefully, get them off employment. A lot of people do have a callback date, but a lot of people also don't. So we just like to, give them some education on what we have to offer. And a lot of people end up enrolling with us or going through some of our programs to find a different career. So again, I said we are huge on partnerships, and we definitely are. So in Ionia, we have Belding Adult Ed that comes into our service center 3 evenings a week to work with individuals going for their GED or high school completion. We also have Central Montcalm in Montcalm County that we work closely with. We also have some few other partners. We have Michigan Rehabilitation Services. They are on site in both locations. So if you are aware of someone that has a physical, emotional, mental disability, or even say someone needs hearing aids, we do a referral to them and they can meet with them and help meet those needs. And they also work with many local employers who actually might look for someone with a disability that they want to work with and hire. Also, we work with our migrant seasonal farm workers. We have a staff person on site through the LEO, which is the Labor and Economic Opportunities of the state of Michigan, and they also work with that population to help find them employment. So I don't know how many have heard of MI Career Quest, but this is a wonderful event. I hope it can come back in person soon. The last couple of years, with COVID, we haven't been able to, but the one before that, I was able to attend. This is usually held at DeVos Place, where you'll see probably 9,000 students come in and over 100 employers, and they are placed in these different sectors, kind of what I told you, the health, the IT, and it really gives them a great hands-on opportunity to see what this entails. So before I talk too much about it, we just have a quick 3-minute video that we want to show you. If you can't hear the sound, please let us know. And this explains what MI Career Quest is all about.
Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear.
Okay.
The entire event is really about exposing students to careers they may never have heard about before. We really want to change perceptions. Together, we're construction, advanced manufacturing, health sciences and technology, and information technology.
We have great occupations within all of our industries that can be viable and just as fantastic as being a doctor or lawyer can be. It really started because Michigan Works saw that there was a need for students to see careers and career opportunities. What if we collaborate on a level far beyond anything that we've ever done before?
Career Quest intentionally is a different experience. It's designed for the students to interact with employers in a way that they can touch and see and experience the day-to-day job that they might encounter if they pursued that occupation. I think it's important for the community in the region to support our economic viability in West Michigan. These sectors are all high-growth, high-wage opportunities. This is a very influential time in students' lives, and quite frankly, the opportunities are limitless right now.
I cannot get 9,000 students into my company alone, but what I can do is collaborate with my peers and with my competitors and with my educators, and I can showcase in a way that's far beyond anything that I can do as an individual.
My Career Quest is employer-driven, and so that means that we need businesses to come to the table to say, we're willing to give our time. We're willing to give our people the opportunity to work with students. We're willing to bring our equipment in, and we're willing to help fund this event. Every single dollar that's raised is out of the kindness of the businesses that come to the table, and so without them, this event wouldn't exist.
This is something that is totally different. It's not a trade show, it's not a science fair. It's a way for a student to see a career in a totally different light. And quite frankly, our employees that get to go to this experience and engage with students come away more energized and excited about their own career because they've just had a student go, wow, you get to do that every day. And they go, oh, yeah, I do get to do this every day. and it's cool.
You can go to the next slide. Awesome. So I don't know about you guys, but that video gives me goosebumps. I just love going to that event. It is such a great thing, and to see the excitement on, you know, our youth's face and just opening their eyes to new opportunities is great. So, okay, I'm going to get through these last few slides because I obviously want to leave time. I know there's several questions in the chat. So I went through all of the things on the talent side of the house, all the opportunities there, which is like Michelle said, that's the people world. That's our job seekers. That's our frontline staff. We also have a department, business solutions department, that works with all of our local employers. And like Michelle said, that really helps to bridge the gap. You know, oh, I have all these job seekers that are ready to go to work, and this is what they're looking for. These are the wages they needed and the radius they're willing to travel. And then we can bridge that gap and help them fill those positions with all the employers that come to us and let us know of their needs. So some of the services available for business solutions to employers is, like I discussed, the wage analysis, pre-hire assessments. We can post your open positions on Pure Michigan Talent Connect. If you make us aware of your openings, then you can go on that weekly hot jobs blast that goes out to thousands of job seekers across West Michigan. We also hold hiring events as well, where you can be an employer of the day. Usually those are in our service centers. We haven't begun that yet because of COVID, but I do think we will in the near future, where you can kind of have open interviews or just let people know about the positions. We do have virtual job fairs right now every month. The next one is February 16th. You can find the information on our website. And then some of the training and hiring programs is incumbent worker training. Again, on the job training, a huge part of what we do is our Going Pro Talent Fund that really helps upscale employers or employees, you know, for individuals that maybe they want to promote them into higher level positions. And then some of the Going Pro Talent Fund money will help bring in entry level people. We also have subsidized employment opportunities, and then we are always finding new grants. Right now, we're working on a manufacturing one. Soon there will be one for rural healthcare and different things for people that have been displaced due to the pandemic. So with the needs in West Michigan, we found a need to kind of develop these industry councils, right? So we have those shown here. Those are the logos for each of those. And with that industry sector development, they have industry council leads that really take the lead. They have their own little councils where they have meetings to discuss what specifically in their industry they're facing and best practices to help alleviate some of the issues they may be having. And it really just allows, you know, the employer's voice to be heard when they're crafting talent in our communities. So another department, this is fairly new to us, is retention solutions, where this is an opportunity for employers to pay into shares, if you will. That gives an opportunity for a success coach to come right on site to that employer and find out what some of the barriers are for maybe why they're having retention issues. You know, as you see between the bullet points, those are some examples of why people might not be able to get to work or sustain their employment. So that success coach coming on site works one-on-one with individuals to help them get through some of those issues they may be facing so they can come to work and be successful. Another new initiative this year is the Clean Slate initiative. This has been something very exciting as well. I actually saw this individual on the bottom here speak about how, you know, she did make a mistake years ago. She did do her time, you know, and now she's putting together all these great things on her block, you know, in her community, but she's not allowed to volunteer at her child's school, you know, or people are having issues getting employment. They can't apply for housing if they're a felon or situations like that. So there are certain criminal convictions that can be expunged. Obviously nothing violent, CSC, anything like that. However, we were given some funds to be able to help people expunge those. We had our first felony expungement in August in Ione County, and we've had several since. We have a clean slate navigator staff person that is dedicated to working with those individuals seeking that expungement. So that's been very exciting as well. And then there is my contact information. Again, I want to leave time for questions. I know that was a lot that came at you in the last 35 minutes, so let's open it up to any questions you may have. Should I just look in the chat?
It is a lot of information.
Yeah, I know.
The event is really exciting. We also, I wanted to make mention too, we do a summer youth program, and we talk about the My Career Quest, and that the summer youth program is, you know, I think last year I hosted it virtually with one of my coworkers, and it was 80 students that we went in and we talked about soft skills, and we taught, you know, we a lot of times just adding to the toolbox, right? So there's a lot more that we can't get into a 45-minute PowerPoint presentation, but yeah.
I'll start answering some questions. So Kristen wanted to know where the work ready, the curriculum came from. What we did was we actually held info sessions with local employers to see what their pain points were. And it really came from our local employers. And then we worked with our ISDs to develop the curriculum. So that is where that came from. And it is definitely probably one of our most well attended. I've even had community partners say, I need my employees to take this. How do I sign them up? You know, and so if there is a need, we can do group sessions, or now that it's virtual, there's more opportunity. Is there a cost if you are not enrolled in a program? Absolutely nothing that we offer is any cost. Everything is free to the job seeker. Any of these workshops, any of these career coaching opportunities, nothing costs the job seeker anything, which is beautiful. How are career coaches different from career navigators? So career navigators are the ones you see. They're really the face of the organization when you walk in the front door. And they are really well versed in all of our programs to know what you know, what would be best for you. Yeah, I think you'd be good for this program, or yep, I have that resource. So they really encompass all of it. Whereas a career coach is someone that specifically works one-on-one with you to get you through whatever you're trying to get to you know, get that employment opportunity. Hopefully that helps answer that.
Somebody asked about tools like welding tools, and if somebody doesn't have money to get to their books, or, you know,
I probably didn't get to that yet.
at the beginning, and that's something that, you know, I've seen people come out, you know, depending on what program they qualify, what scholarship, and then the additional programs that we've paid for, you know, computers and, you know, uniforms and things like that. If they're in, that would require enrollment into the program, but they don't know unless they ask, right? Unless they reach out to a career coach.
Yeah, Randy, we do have people often that call our front desk and say, hey, I heard you can buy tires. Well, it's not exactly that easy. You know, we can't do the support services unless you are working with a career coach and enrolled in a program. We are lucky enough to receive a lot of donations from our local United Way. We've gotten steel-toed boots. They do a coat drive and graciously donate items to us. So we do have those items available sometimes for anybody, obviously free of cost. If it's there, you can take it. But other than that, you do need to be enrolled in a program in order to receive those support services.
Another question I'm reading, Abby, is can students who are already enrolled in a college utilize a career coach and access the resources?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things to be careful of, though, is if you are looking for us to assist with training cost, you cannot already be enrolled in your classes. That is something that you kind of have to work with us on the front end, or say you are already enrolled, well, we can look at helping you the next semester. We just can't do that particular semester. But yes, even if you already have your training completely paid for with other means, but you just want to meet with a career coach to, you know, work on that career portfolio, work on your interviewing skills, we can absolutely help with that. We also have a talent development specialist who works a lot with Michelle. She is someone who you don't have to be enrolled in a program to work with her, but individuals go to her when they say, okay, I'm ready. I don't have any barriers I'm facing. And she helps connect them with some of those openings. You know, she does the job searching. She blast emails to them all the time. Oh, this looks great for you. You know, this is right up your alley. And a lot of jobs have been filled just by utilizing her for that.
Another question around ONET. That is an interest inventory, not personnel unless it is, you know, when they come to the career exploration, we do a deeper dive. We utilize the ONET, but we do a deeper dive and unpack some of that, because it can get really, really complicated to navigate. ONET is a little complicated. I think it's really helpful to just do more exploring on that. But yes, that is correct.
And like you said, Amy, we have so many programs. And what I would say is, if you know of anybody interested, on our website, it gives all of our service center and the contact information. Just call the front desk. Like I said, that would be the career navigator who you would get when you call a service center, and they can point you in the right direction. If not, I will put my email in the chat. I always say you'll never forget it, because it's astalker@westmiworks.org. Feel free to email me anytime you want. I'm happy to help. You know, I work closely with my counterparts across West Michigan. So if you're from a different county, I can easily put you in communication with them. So let me make sure.
We have another question. Can Michigan Works help with training costs if they're going out of school but live permanently in Michigan?
Out of school but live permanently out of state, you mean?
Sorry, out of state. Apologies.
So on Pure Michigan Talent Connect website, the training providers are responsible for making sure they give us the correct information to have them on there as a eligible training provider. So what that means is, well, most of them know because they've done it long enough, but like MCC, for instance, they are put on this Pure Michigan Talent Connect. In order for a career coach to send someone, we have to go to that site and make sure that they're an eligible training provider. Obviously, we don't want to, you know, there's probably a lot of scams out there. We don't want to send someone to somebody that isn't well-known.
But is this for out of state, even though they live in Michigan? Say there's a training that's out of state.
I'm pretty sure there are some listed on there that are out of state. I remember someone that wanted to go and did all online classes, and as long as they're on that list and we can happily look that up, then they're fine to go through with it.
I think we got them all.
Besides what was in the chat, does anybody have any last minute questions? Again, I'm so thankful, Amy, that you invited us to come today. Again, I know that was a lot of information. So if you think of something later, please don't hesitate to email me or call one of our service centers, and we would be happy to help.
All righty. Well, thank you both.